So I didn't recognize all those hand signals. The guys back in the sound booth are going, "Rah, rah." So I said to Denny, why are they doing that? She said, because they want us to start the service. So I'm here to start the service. Good morning. And welcome to the First Unitarian Church of Hamilton. We welcome you who are here in the sanctuary, and we also welcome people who are joining us electronically. My name is Elizabeth Beckett, using the pronouns she. I could do that. Using the pronouns she, her. And I am this morning's service leader. I want to thank the service team that brings us this service. The people you see around you who are staffing the sound and video booth, who welcomed you at the door and welcomed you at the outer door as well. The people who deepen our experience with music, and I think this morning we're going to have a particularly fun time with the music. And people who provide us with the candles, who connect us to the huge, who connect us by lighting candles. The people who provide this service for us allow us to connect with hope and meaning. People who prepare the refreshments for us to enjoy after the service. All of these people are living our covenant as they care for us and inspire us to also serve and inspire others. So I thank you all. Holy and beautiful is the custom which brings us together. Hamilton and Stony Creek, where I come from, and probably Burlington and Waterdown and all of the other places that we hail from to come to the Unitarian Church on Dundurn, is the traditional territories of the Erie, neutrals, Huron-Wendat, and the Haudenosaunee. Pat's been teaching me how to say this word. Haudenosaunee and Mississaugas. Today, Hamilton is the home to many Indigenous people from across North America, and the land here is covered by covenants and treaties. We are all of us treaty people, original inhabitants and those who came later, inheritors of a diverse history, dwellers in a common land, and travelers towards a better day. We respect our treaty relationships and the responsibilities of both to the land and to the original people who resided here.
Okay, pop-up choir.
Pop-up choir.
These fine folks who showed up this morning and heard these pieces.
we light a chalice here, as many chalices are being lit in churches everywhere. May our chalice remind us that all people have joys and sorrows. All people quest for deeper truths, and many people believe that service to others is what gives life meaning. May we embody friendship and love. May this flame be our light of friendship and love.
Good morning, everyone. I am Reverend Danny, the minister here at UU Hamilton, and I use they, them pronouns. And I'd like to welcome you to this space. Welcome to worship. Welcome to you who are joyful and excited this day. Welcome to you who are weary and in need of rest. Welcome to you who are seeking deeper meaning and purpose in the infinite expanse of life. Today we come with full hearts and open spirits to be open to the possibility that what we receive here will inspire us, to mend our tender parts, nourish our waning spirits, and give us enough wisdom and energy to embody resilience with every breath. Let us worship together. And let us begin by singing hymn number 396, I Know This Rose, in the gray hymnal, and the words will be on the wall.
And we are going to sing this through 3 times. Rise as you are willing and able. I know this rose will open. I know my fear will burn away. I know my soul will unfurl its wings. I know this rose will open. I know this rose will open. I know my fear will burn away. I know my soul will unfurl its wings. I know this rose will open. One more time. I know this rose will open. I know my fear will burn away. I know my soul will unfurl its wings. I know this rose will open.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Jenny. I run the kids program here. And before I read our story today, I wanted to share about Third Space on Friday, which was super fun. And we had a little dance going on here. And I'm still a little bit sore from Friday. So next time we have a dance, I hope, it doesn't even matter if you can dance. A lot of us can't. We just come to have fun and feel the mood, feel the music, you know? So this coming Friday, we're having Mending Circle here in the foyer, and I do believe we will have a sewing machine there as well. So if you need any help to mend any articles of clothing, you want to learn how to stitch something up, please come on out and you can learn. If you have any questions or like special requests, like something kind of unique to sew, you can come and reach out to me and ask if that might be something we can work on, and I'll figure it all out. So yeah, we look forward to seeing you all there. And also it is a potluck, and you don't have to mend something to come. You can just come and hang out too. So today's story is called The Hugging Tree. It's by Jill Niemark and illustrated by Nicole Wong. On a bleak and lonely rock by a vast and mighty sea grew a lonely little tree where no tree should ever be. How she got there, no one knew. She sprouted stems and little leaves as any tiny seed will do. Oh, there's hardly any dirt for me. No forest breeze, no birds, no bees, but I will do the best I can to make this rock my home. Her tiny roots pushed day and night, and bit by bit, the rock gave way. A smidge, an inch, a foot, then two. She grew and grew and grew and grew. The ocean hugged the rocky shore. I like you near me, little tree. Let's keep each other company. Soft gold sunbeams kissed her crown, warm as honey pouring down. And at night, she raised her branches high to greet the moon up in the sky. I wax, I wane, I ebb and flow. I cycle through from full to thin. And when I'm done, I start again. That's how life is, you know. One summer noon, a pair of loons landed on her canopy. A pretty tree, a sparkling sea. Shall we make this place our home and raise our baby chicks right here? The little tree warmed up with pride. She spread her branches high and wide. I'll be your home, she replied. And can you tell me if you've seen the forest where my family grew? Well, we built our nest in trees like you, quite far from here. And so you blew many nights and many days. You flew on wind, just like we do. They built their nest, they laid their eggs, and soon 2 baby chicks were born. Summer passed, autumn too. The little tree turned red and gold. Then winter came with howling winds and cutting cold that broke her boughs. The loons flew south. The sea all ice, the rock all snow. The moon was lost in thunderclouds. Oh, mighty cliff, hold me tight. Don't let me blow away. Little tree, with all my might, I'll hold you close, night and day. Storms will come and storms will go. At last, the sun melted the snow, but now the tree could not grow. The storm had torn her roots. The moon gazed down and softly said, sometimes we lose our way, but with some help, we start again. That's how life is, you know. And soon, a boy came running by, skipping stones into the sea. When he saw the little tree, he stopped and stared. He touched the tiny leaves. He felt the ragged roots. He shook his head and said, I can bring you just what you need. I can help you, little tree. A tree can't hug a boy. It has no hands or arms, but it can hug you with its heart, and that is just as deep and warm. Every day, the boy came back carrying a full backpack. From the pack, he took a tin and poured out rich brown earth. He packed the roots and tucked them in. He planted flowers round the tree and made a path for all to see. Now everyone will know that even on a granite cliff, a little tree can grow. And then he went to sleep and dreamed the things that boys dream of. And now, every day, new people stop to rest beneath the little tree and dream the things that we all dream of. To love, to share, to give, to dare to grow just where we are. And to this very day they come. For on a splendid sunny rock by a warm and bright blue sea, a great big hugging tree grows just where she was meant to be. Now, today, there are a lot of things to celebrate. We have Family Day this weekend, and we send love to all of our families who are near and far. We also have Chinese New Year on February 17th, and a new moon coming up also on February 17th. And also, a little birdie has told me that there are a significant number of birthdays in February. Should I name names? Yeah. Danny's birthday was in February. I've heard Rachel's birthday is in February. And there are lots of other people, I'm sure. My two sisters have February birthdays as well.
Whose birthday is today?
Whose birthday is today?
Whose birthday is today?
Oh my
Rachel's
gosh.
birthday
Is it today?
It is today, the 15th.
Norm Harris? Norm Ayers is today as well. So whether or not you know somebody whose birthday is today or any day in February, we would love to sing and celebrate you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, all you February birthdays. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
Our offering is a reminder of the spirit of generosity and the acceptance of responsibility that is at the heart of this religious community. We give our financial resources to ensure the continued existence of our church.
Thank you for joining me on some of this. You are certainly welcome. We
Thank you very much for your generosity in giving to the offering. Sorry, Danny.
This morning, I am going to be offering a spoken word poem for our meditation. It's entitled Boomerang Valentine by Andrea Gibson, someone whose name you might be familiar with if you have been participating in our community's journey groups. Andrea's poetry is often represented in our monthly packets. Additionally, their documentary was released last November entitled Show Me the Good Light. Show Me in the Good Light. And it's available to watch on Apple TV if you haven't seen it yet. So let us settle into our bodies again with a moment of poetry and contemplation. I invite you to relax, close your eyes if that feels safe in your body, and take a few deep breaths. Followed by our reading, there will be a few moments of silence, followed by music, during which you are welcome to come forward and light a candle of joy, sorrow, or gratitude. And now, Boomerang Valentine by Andrea Gibson. I'm sitting on my friend's couch several months into being intentionally single and celibate for the first time since I was 20 years old. 20 years old when I believed sex had to involve a dude and the word screw. I'm telling my friend about the psychic who said We'll try that again. This is supposed to be calm and meditative. Come on, guys. I'm telling my friend about the psychic who said I'm going to meet the love of my life by the end of January. It's January 10th, and I am so far from ready for Cupid, that naked little to fire anything sharp my way. So far from ready to be the kind of unhinged only love can make me. My friend mutters every bit of new age jargon she can fit onto her tongue and says, "What if you are the love of your life?" And I think, oh my God, I hope that's not true because I am absolutely not my type. But let's say for a moment I am. Let's say I am my dream, girlish, boyish girl, and I'm standing on the front porch, ringing my own doorbell, waiting for me to answer, so I can hand myself a mason jar full of water lilies I have rescued from a millionaire's Monet. Let's say I am so charmed by the radiance of my own anarchy, I invite myself in for tea, and when I'm not looking, I sneak the steam from the kettle into my pocket so the next time I'm missing the coast of Maine, I can gift myself the fog. Let's say I'm not just running my mouth around an old cliche that says we gotta love ourselves. We don't. I know I could get down on myself until I'm tucked in my grave looking up at my name carved in stone, wondering why I never knew I'd been cast as the lead for my own life. When it comes to love, the only thing I am certain of is this: you are the best thing that has ever happened to you. Whoever you are, you're a quitter? Great. There is plenty worth quitting. A sore loser? Who isn't? Got no discipline? Maybe discipline is for bodybuilders and closeted gay monks. Picture a magician so attached to being perfect, he cut off his own legs to pull off the trick. Picture the 738 selfies I deleted before I took one I was willing to show the world. Picture me wishing I could get them all back, my so-called flaws stacked like baseball cards. I know we'll be worthy someday. Like compassion, like tenderness, like my capacity to think myself a catch, just because I have never seen a chandelier I didn't want to swing from, because I'd maybe go to space just to know if railroad tracks look like zippers from the moon. On days I have hard times keeping warm in my own weather, I imagine what the flower wanted to say to the first human trying to name half of its petals, love me nots. No, that's not how anything grows. Of all the violence I have known in my life, I have never known violence like the violence I have spoken to myself. And I have seen almost everyone around me hold that same belt to their own back. An ambush of every way we've decided we are not enough. Then, looking for someone outside of ourselves to clear that treason up. If I were to ask myself out of that cycle, I might say, listen, I'm still going through a growth spurt. I'm still yet to get my worst tattoo. I am still clearing the smoke from burning the toast I wrote for my own wedding day. I'm still trying to get rid of my mirror face. I'm still learning to look myself dead in the eye. I know Facebook is a lousy mortician, desperately trying to make us all look more alive. I know there are things I haven't survived. I know there are people who have had to work hard to survive me. I don't ever want to take that lightly, but I want the heavy to anchor me brave, anchor me loving, anchor me in something that will hold me to my word. When I tell Cupid I intend to keep walking out to the tip of his arrow, to bend it back toward myself, to aim for my goodness until the muscle in my chest tears from the stretch of becoming what I came here to be. A lover of whatever got covered up by the airbrush, the truth of me, the beauty of a beast, chewing through a leash, until I got a mason jar full of water lilies and a kettle full of sea. And my whole life is just a boomerang Valentine coming back at me.
part of building a nurturing community includes sharing the joys and sorrows and messages of gratitude that parishioners share with us. Pat Dickinson has written A Joy Interrupted by a Concern. Oh, it's interpreted by a concern, sorry. Gail Rapole has asked me to share that she and her daughter had a fabulous 3-day holiday, which was unfortunately interrupted by a car accident. Her daughter is okay, but Gail had whiplash and muscle damage, which will require a long-term recovery period. She is under doctor's care and currently recovering at her sister's home in Toronto. It can be very tiring for her to be on her phone or her computer. So she asks that we just keep her in our thoughts for now. Nancy Wilson has a gratitude. Sometimes I get to pick up Walter to come to church. It is a gift that warms my heart. Thank you. And we're happy to see Walter at church today. Marianne. Marianne is also having a joy and a gratitude. Marianne is overjoyed, and you all will be when you hear this news, to announce that Josh McIntyre has been accepted into a PhD program at York University. Where he will actually be studying mathematics. I know, eh? Marianne is very grateful to the church village for helping him on this journey. Yay, Josh, she says. Yay, indeed. Thinking of the joys and sorrows that people carry with them in their hearts that we know nothing of, may we all be well, happy, and peaceful, and at peace with the way things are now.
Valentine's Day is such a weird holiday, in my opinion. Originating in the 3rd century, it was a feast day to honor a martyr named Valentine of Terna in Italy, central Italy. He was imprisoned for ministering to Christians who were persecuted by the royal empire. At that point in time, the Roman Empire was pagan, and so Christians were punished for treason, various crimes, illegal assembly, and for participating in a cult that drove many to denounce their pagan faith. It's a little bit backwards compared to today. One of the oldest stories tells of Valentine restoring sight to the blind daughter of his jailer. But numerous later additions to that legend suggested that there was love between them, and that before he was executed, he wrote a letter to the woman, signing it, "Your Valentine." What is known about Saint Valentine was that he performed weddings for Christians and soldiers who were forbidden to marry under Roman law. Tortured and martyred in Rome on February 14th, the date became his feast day. It wasn't until the 14th or 15th century that it was associated with romantic love, when Valentine poetry began appearing. First, a poem written in 1382 by Geoffrey Chaucer. Later on, there was a sorrowful mention by Ophelia in Shakespeare's Hamlet in 1601. But the famous nursery rhyme wasn't published until 1784, written by Joseph Johnson. The rose is red, the violet's blue, the honey's sweet, and so are you. Thou art my love, and I am thine. I drew thee to my Valentine. The lot was cast, and then I drew, and fortune said, it should be you. Although the storytelling has developed over 18 centuries, modern-day versions, and more significantly, the expectations of Valentine's Day, exploded in early modern England and spread throughout the English-speaking world in the late 19th century. Much the way that Halloween and Christmas traditions developed and spread. The gifts of greeting cards, often called Valentine's cards, began shortly after the popularity of that poem, and they were mass-produced in the United States in 1847, first mass-produced in 1847. And it was a mere 20 years later, in 1868, when Cadbury Chocolate Company created the first heart-shaped chocolate box for their chocolates, which led to boxes of chocolate soon becoming associated with this holiday. It is unclear when Cupid became connected to Valentine's Day, though his mythology has always been the Greek god of desire, erotic love, attraction, and affection. He is often portrayed as the son of Venus, who was the love goddess, and Mars, the god of war. One of the more unique retellings or expansions of Valentine's Day was first suggested in 2010 from the sitcom Parks and Recreation, where the lead character, Leslie Knope, played by Amy Poehler, talks about February 13th being a day to celebrate women's friendships, originally connected to brunch and the consumption of, what one clip said, a lot of whipped cream. This once fictional holiday has increasingly found itself in the mainstream and has since been rebranded as Palentine's Day, to celebrate friends and other forms of platonic love. Social justice organizing strategy team Side with Love at the Unitarian Universalist Association also jumped on the bandwagon of redefining Valentine's Day in 2022 when they launched the 30 Days of Love campaign, an annual celebration that runs from Martin Luther King Day in January through to Valentine's Day in February. They take this opportunity to focus on the 4 intersectional justice priorities: reproductive, gender, and LGBTQIA+ justice, democracy and voting justice, decriminalization and racial justice, and climate justice, by providing offerings each week for families and communities to read, watch, act, listen, and worship together, all based on the idea of love. And so, while we are expanding our understanding of Valentine's Day this year, I would like to invite us to celebrate February 15th as a day of self-love, a day where we might explore what it could mean to become us, what it might mean for us to become the love of our own life, as Andrea Gibson's friend put it. Last week, I mentioned my inner monologue being overwhelmed with the state of the world, but much more often, my internal anxiety has to do with the stories that I tell about myself and what I believe other people must be thinking about me. This inner monologue started when I was really young, probably before middle school, although I have strong memories of anxiety while I was in middle school. Perhaps it was because there is a history in my family tree of mental health diagnoses. Or maybe it's because the September 11th attacks happened the first week of grade 8. Or it might have been the tumultuous upheaval that my family went through in January of grade 9 when we ended up moving 6 months later. But I was diagnosed with depression before I turned 19. And that volume control of those internal voices has been wavering back and forth between 1 and 10 for as long as I can remember. With much effort and a lot of practice, I can usually keep the volume level pretty low. It feels a lot like the first part of our story this morning. Not really alone on a cliff by myself, but still trying to grow in a place that doesn't feel natural or easy. Tiny roots pushing night and day, a bit by bit, the rock gave way. And yet, even with daily practices, the challenges of anxiety and depression can often feel impossible. But what if I chose to retell this story? In the first section of their poem, Andrea Gibson spoke about how much they didn't love themselves, ending with the question, what if you were the love of your life? And the quip, oh my God, I hope that's not true, because I am absolutely not my type. But the next line, Andrea says, but let's say I am. Let's say I am my dream girlish, boyish girl, and they go off speaking about all of the things they would do to love themselves as if they were the love of their life. They speak about all of the things that they would have done different. And so I wonder what stories I must rewrite in order to become the best thing that has ever happened to me. I think about the stories of success that were described to me when I was a child. That when I finished school, all of my schooling, because it was certain that I would go to college or university after graduating high school, that I would be able to settle down, things would begin to stabilize, I'd find the love of my life and we would have a family. I was told I could do anything, be anyone I wanted, and that success looks like the accumulation of education, the accumulation of love through friendships and partnership, the accumulation of resources through high performance and independence. But I think that the thing that is more subtle, the pieces that feel somehow harder to hear in some of those meta stories, those cultural undertones that shape the very fabric of our society, is that an inability to achieve those successes, or a decision to not even seek them out and work our butts off to reach them, is considered a failure. It's not even the explicit failures that society points out and victim blames, like the fitness and beauty industry telling everyone what their bodies should look like and what is appropriate to eat, or the individual failures of people who are being denied housing or forced to access shelter in a restrictive and incredibly problematic system. No, these are individual failures, pull yourself up by your bootstraps kind of failures. But I'm actually talking about the even quieter suggestions of what success should look like. Didn't do well on that project? You must have been lazy. Got 95% on your essay? What happened to the other 5%? Choosing to go to trade school instead of getting a bachelor's degree? Are you sure you want to do manual labor for your whole life? Decide to get an arts degree? What kind of job are you expecting to be able to get with that? It's a nice starter home, but what are you going to do in a condo building? When are you going to buy a piece of property? I have begun to realize, though it has probably taken me way too long, that I need to be deliberate about defining what success looks like for me. In fact, while I was on vacation, somewhere in between Boxing Day and New Year's Eve, when time feels limitless and frozen, I was given the perfect opportunity to practice redefining what success looks like for me. The internal monologue inside of my, excuse me. The internal monologue started telling me that now would be a really good time to clean out my email inbox. Not to get back to active work, but maybe read some of the newsletters that I had subscribed for and never got time to read. To review all of the things that I had been ignoring for the last 6 months and determine if I still needed to do anything with them, or if I could archive them. Anyone who has ever worked in a kitchen or in a fast food has heard the phrase, "If you have time to lean, you have time to clean." I know I don't need to open my emails in order to clean, but maybe I could tidy up the digital filing system or one of the hundreds of other tasks that never seem important enough to do when I have a meeting to plan for, emails to respond to, sermon descriptions to figure out for next month. And yet, one of the conversations I had with so many people before leaving the church for holidays was to allow myself to rest. And so instead of opening my computer and accomplishing tasks that never seem important, I began telling myself, "Hey, stop it. I don't need to be productive. My filing system is fine. Right now, success looks like resting and allowing myself to ignore my computer. Success looks like listening to the anxious thoughts in my brain and saying, no, I don't need to be productive on my holiday." There is a story about how Thich Nhat Hanh first started to travel west and to teach. One of the most common questions that he would get from students was, how do I like myself? How do I stop hating myself? Thich Nhat Hanh was initially shocked by the question, along with his other teachers. They didn't know how to answer this question. Actually, they didn't even understand what people meant when they heard the question. It is interesting because I have imagined that the struggles to love oneself is a universal challenge. Not something that people will forever be burdened by, but at least something that every human experiences on a regular-ish basis. But what this means is that the challenge to love yourself is actually dramatically impacted by culture. And perhaps all we need to do is unlearn those meta stories that a toxic culture has taught us. And yet, we are here, or at least I am, stuck in a world, in a culture that has a toxic story that each individual is not inherently enough, must work hard to achieve perfection, and anything less is considered a failure. And yet today, I invite you to celebrate the idea of self-love, expanding once again the idea of Valentine's Day and romantic love. One more story. At one point during the pandemic, while we were still in lockdown and gathering online, While we were still in lockdown and gathering online for worship services, the Kelowna Unitarians had a practice where one member of the worship team or the choir would lead songs on Zoom, with everyone else muted and singing along. One Sunday, I asked a woman who I was very fond of, Mary, if she could lead us in the hymn, "How Could Anyone?" She said, yes, of course. Scrolled all the way to the top. She said yes, of course, but she wanted to change the wording slightly during the second sing through. She changed the song from second person, an expression of love to others, to first person, an expression of love for herself. The lyrics, powerful and beautiful in themselves, became even more. How could anyone ever tell me I was anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell me I was less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that my loving is a miracle? How deeply I'm connected to my soul. I've often tried to hold on to that practice, attempting to stretch the muscle in my chest to love the person I am meant to be. We will now sing our closing hymn, number 18, What Wondrous Love.
What wondrous love is this, oh my soul, oh my soul. What wondrous love is this, oh my soul. What wondrous love is this that brings my heart such bliss and takes away the pain of my soul, and takes away the pain of my soul. When I was sinking down, sinking down. When I was sinking down. When I was sinking down beneath my sorrow ground, friends to me gathered round. Oh my soul, friends to me gathered round. Oh my soul. To love and to all friends I will sing, I will sing. To love and to all friends I will sing. To love and to all friends who pain and sorrow mend, with thanks unto the end, I will sing, I will sing. With thanks unto the end, I will sing.
We have gathered in the sacred act of continuing. Resilience is not triumph. Instead, it is tending and returning. As we leave, may we carry the truth that even quiet endurance is holy work. When the world presses, may we root deeper. When it softens, may we rise again.
We